The first Weekly Shonen Jump series I was able to read from Chapter 1 as it released was Samurai 8, thanks to Manga Plus, and from then on I've read every single newbie from Chapter 1 to this day. For me, one of the things that makes Jump special is how pretty much every series that succeeds getting a long serialization, a full serialization, and or an anime adaptation is something unique. Now let's look at the current lineup of Jump, which I've got listed right in front of me here. Not including the big titles like, One Piece, MHA, and JJK, we've got Mission Yozakura Family, Undead Unluck, Mashal, Me and Roboco, Sakamoto Days, Elusive Samurai, Witch Watch, Blue Box, Akane Banashi, and also Thunder Wish and Ruri Dragon. Spoilers ahead for all of these. Mission Yozakura Family by Hitsuji Gandaira is an action slice-of-life series where Taiyo Asano is getting married to his childhood friend Utsumi Yozakura and joins their family of spies, entering the spy world, going on missions, and having fun protecting the family and all that. In 2023, we were introduced to the final major antagonist, Asa, and we also entered the post-time skip where we go from following Taiyo to his and Utsumi's kids, Aqua and Hifumi, mostly so far being chill content, mostly giving us time to get to know the twins. We get to see them go on adventures, we get to see them meet the whole family and find out about this big mission and the spy world. And currently they are training to unlock their blooming, which is this world's power system kind of thing, but only in the main family. From what I've heard, the Japanese audience is really liking this post-time skip stuff so far. But personally, I really want to see some other characters get some more screen time. Undead Unluck by Yoshifumi Tozuka, an action series where our goal is to kill God. This year has mostly been series post-time skip as well, or, the equivalent, which is the Final Loop saga, where Fuko is recruiting negators to fight Uma, work out how to make a team and, fight God, which is the whole goal. Tozuka has been able to take their time with this time skip, which I didn't expect at all. I thought it was going to be like 10 chapters, getting every single character together and then going straight into that final arc. But we're now I think 21 volumes of content in. We haven't got 21 volumes out, just that amount of content. And we're coming up on the last 6 major negators, the ones that will be important. And we've also got to deal with the 10 superior rules coming after them. I'm really hoping Seal comes back, by the way. So yeah, Undead Unluck is amping up to have a very good 2024. Mashal, Magic and Muscles by Hajime Komodo, a comedy action series that ended pretty early in 2023 about a boy with no magic using his pure muscles to make his way through a normie society and change the world. It's never quite balanced things out with its comedy and action, so all the way to the very end, it's got good stuff, bad stuff, and it's just completely mixed. The characters are never super duper good. They never get developed until right near the end. And even then it's just alright stuff. I don't remember his name. I think it's Finn, but he gets an arc with his brother in a big final fight, and that's pretty good. But it's a quite good series. It has lots of references to other manga. Ever since I finished it though, I've missed it a lot. Despite my rather mixed opinions on it, it's a really, really good, great experience, especially if you're not too critical about stuff. Sakamoto Days by Yuto Suzuki, a full-on action series about a retired assassin dealing with his past coming back to haunt him while trying to relax and live the chill life. For an assassin who wants to chill, Sakamoto ends up in a lot of beautifully choreographed and drawn fights with some of the wildest things you'll ever see happening in fights. Every character is a lovable badass. We'll always miss you, Lou. While I don't usually care much for fights in series, Sakamoto Days always amazes me with its fights. It grips me instantaneously with literally every single character. And this year, the plot has deepened with Sakamoto's past coming into stuff, and some interesting things with Uzuki the villain, and of course we had some great stunning fights, and we're currently in probably what is the big the first big confrontation between the three parties, the Order, Sakamoto's group, and Uzuki's group. I don't remember what they're called. Slur, I think. This is Jump's most popular series post Chainsaw Man, and also one of the current oldest of the lot, and it doesn't even have an anime announced. It's easy to say that Sakamoto Days is going to have probably the best year of everything in Jump. Witch Watch by Kenta Shinohara is a slice of life gag series about a powerful witch named Nico and her familiar. Most of the series is gag stuff, and it's awesome. I even brought the Japanese volumes. I think you can see them up here. Yeah, I've got 1 through 13 of all of Witch Watch here. And we've just entered the second part of the series, with Nico now being a little kid, and our current goal is to collect these butterflies and turn her back into her usual age, because each butterfly ages her up a bit. And it seems this is another thing where Shinohara is taking their time with it, thankfully, because this could last a while. We've only just entered part 2. This could be something that lasts us ages, and I'm wondering how long it's going to be, really. Is this going to be a 30 volume series? I would love it to be long, but who knows? Let's just hope it lasts as long as Shinohara can handle. Me and Roboco by Shuhei Miyazaki, the other ongoing gag series in Jump about a poor boy who doesn't have a robot maid, unlike his friends, until Roboco arrives, the unique, useless, and chaotic robot maid. It's a super hit or miss series, sometimes being really, really funny, and others just boring. It's very much gags the whole way through, with a few arcs here and there, pretty similar to Witch Watch, even having 2 arcs in this past year, being like the Science Lab Rescue arc and the Roboco Multiverse arc. Its whole thing is it references other Shueisha manga, which is nowhere near as much as you'd think in the actual series, considering that all of the covers are direct references to a bunch of Shueisha titles. Recent chapters have all been pretty funny for me, so hopefully this keeps up throughout the year. Elusive Samurai by Yusei Matsui, a historical action series following Tokiyuki Hojo's ventures to defeat Takuji after the Hojo was betrayed and destroyed. Another post-timeskip series, Tokiyuki's forces were separated after the death of Yorishige, the teacher of Tokiyuki, just to survive, of course. They've now joined under Ahie and the Northern Defense, working under the current emperor. It can be a bit confusing with all the history and stuff happening, for me at least. The characters aren't the best either. They're just pretty solid, and it's a lot of fun. We had some occasional chill content too, outside of the action and pure, military story stuff. The artwork from the very start is absolutely phenomenal, but especially recently, with post-timeskip and all that, is just pure beauty to look at. It is like looking at a piece of art up, like one of those massive pieces of art in an art museum is great to look at. And I want to see it physically. This is probably one of the most underrated series going on in Jump, in my opinion, Witch Watches, but this is definitely there too. Blue Box by Koji Miura, a sports romance series about a first-year badminton player at Taiki and a second-year basketball player at Shinatsu. Sports in Blue Box is used as a device for the romance. Its characters' ambitions and goals are the focus, rather than solely just being a romance. They each have something they're already working towards, so we don't get stuck in this they fall in love and that is just the rest of the story. We don't often really see matches of the actual sports though. What little we do see, it's used to drive the characters' ambitions and emotions, and it's used as a plot device kinda, but a very good plot device. We're probably going to see a little bit more sports though in this upcoming content. We are coming up on major matches for both Shinatsu and Taiki. Shinatsu's currently in the middle of probably the biggest match that we will see for her in this series, going up against her friend Yumika and kind of defining whether she'll be able to keep up with this. We've still got stuff to do with the side characters, but unless we go into the adult lives of all these characters, I'm not sure we'll be seeing this last for that much longer. Akane Banashi by Yuki Suminaga and Takamasu Moe, a Rakugo battle series, because honestly, I'm not sure what to genre this. Akane grew up in a with around her father, a Rakugoka who was constantly practicing, and she loved to watch, gaining a passion for her father's Rakugo. After an incident in which her father lost his position, she strived to become a Rakugoka and make the Shinichi rank and show the world her father's Rakugo. This year we've seen the Zenzo Renseikai event, where Akane met a bunch of awesome Zenza rank Rakugoka, and she learned changing time to get her through this Renseikai with help of Maikeru-san and some shadowboxing-esque Rakugo with her father. There was a festival, there was a little festival arc with the Shiroma school, and now we're approaching we're getting to Futatsume rank stuff. I don't know if we'll see this series ever get to blow up, or even get an anime for that matter. I really hope it does though. But it's super unique and needs to be talked about more, lots more. Everyone needs to talk about Akane Banashi. I won't go into Burn the Witch and Ruri Dragon, especially since neither had new chapters in 2023, but they're both great, and hopefully they'll make an appearance in 2024. Now let's take a quick look at the Jump Graveyard before we're going into the 2023 newbies. PPP, Tokyo Demon Bride Story, Genkarin Galuna, Ichigoki's Under Control, and Fabricant 100. All of these series had something at least pretty interesting about them, and of course, they will be missed. Also, High School Family got axed right before it could naturally finish, which was really weird, but they got some extra chapters, so I guess it got a more or less natural conclusion over there. And the kind of Ichinose Family's Deadly Sins axe, because it definitely ended in what felt like a natural way, but I'm still putting it here. And Cypher Academy, I'm not going to go into that with the newbie stuff, or I didn't go into it with the previous bit, but we all know it's going to die or be axed in a few weeks, maybe next month, with the next newbie batch coming up, so I'm not going to talk about that one any more than that. The 2023 newbies. Jump in 2023 has given us 11 newbies, though technically Shadow Eliminators was a 2024 newbie and Fabricant 100 was a 2023 newbie. Tenmaku Cinema, Kill Blue, Dota Tree or Do Retry, New Ways Exorcist, Martial Master Asumi, Ice Head Gill, Mama Yugi, Kagurabachi, 2 on Ice, Green Greens, and Shadow Eliminators. I won't go into the axe ones too much, but I loved Tenmaku Cinema, and as we got to the end, it became really hard for me to appreciate knowing it was a goner. It was an awful experience, but the manga's great, or at least it starts off really good. Do Retry had a decent start, but quickly felt like it was trying to copy Elusive Samurai, and it didn't work. Then there was Ice Head Gill, which honestly, I just forgot what happened last chapter every single time a new one released. But even after going back, it's nothing special. Let's start with the 2 best performing series from this year. New Ways Exorcist is a light novel-esque Exorcist series with fan service, a mostly female cast, a non-blood related sister, and a boring, unlikable MC. Doesn't that sound wonderful? The art can be pretty good though at times, and I like Shiroha. She's a pretty decent character. I don't hate it, I just don't think it's good either, with some nice monster designs. It's got nice monster designs, that's something to look out for at least. And for some reason the Japanese audiences are eating it up. They love this series, it's doing pretty well. Just go read Ayakashi Triangle instead. I like that one better, it's kind of the same thing. Kill Blue. Of all this year's newbies, particularly the ones that survived up until now, this is the one I like the most. Yuzo Ogami is an assassin who is stung by an experimented on wasp and turns into a teenager. Makes sense, right? It later becomes a school comedy, gag, slice of lifey sort of thing with some action in there. The characters are all super likable, and we have all kinds of different interesting goals for each of them, which is nice. Ogami doesn't have some weird romantic interest in any of the kids, thank God, and they even incorporate that into the story. So, it actively shows his disinterest to cover all the bases and make it not feel weird. It's really about him enjoying the little things that he can have in his new youth that he never previously experienced because he never went to school, such as the home ec club, learning, having friends, and sport, while dealing with kid assassins and slowly finding his way back to being an adult. The series had a few story arcs so far. It's not the best thing in the world, especially from the very start. Like, the first chapter was boring in my opinion, but it is my favorite newbie of 2023, and if any survive, I want it to be this one. Mama Yu Yu and 2 on Ice, I also enjoyed a decent bit. Both were pretty unique. Mama Yu Yu has beautiful paneling and art. It's a fun action series but lacks in the world building, and the antagonist isn't that interesting so far. It's taking its time, which is nice. Also, things just happen to the characters. Like, it's all reactionary. We don't have a direction when the characters aren't going anywhere. It's just suddenly things happen and the villains do stuff and the characters just deal with it. 2 on Ice is a twin figure skating manga, which I've always wanted to see in Jump. I wanted to see a ice skating thing in Jump for ages, and we finally got it, and it's decent. It's solid. I like the characters, but like the spreads of ice skating stuff, it's just kind of the same thing again and again. It looks all pretty samey. It's not really taking its time either, which it probably should. Then of course Kagurabachi is another action series which has pretty good art. It's nothing that appeals to me though. It's got an interesting popularity in Japan. That'll likely push it ahead of like Mama Yu Yu and 2 on Ice, so unless the sales of the vaults are like something super surprising, those two will be axed most likely, and Kagurabachi might survive, who knows. Then we got Martial Master Asumi. It's a pretty good mixed martial arts series that follows a brother rivalry, but this is another one that's probably getting axed next batch. Its sales have been not very good, unfortunately, but yeah, it's a pretty good mixed martial arts series where we follow 2 brothers sort of rivalry, and we get some good martial arts stuff from other characters as well. As for the newest 2 series, Shadow Eliminators is about as generic Shonen Exorcist as a series can be, but it's got decent art. It is just another Exorcist series though. I'd say it's definitely gonna get axed, but Neway's doing well, so who knows. As for Green Green Greens, it's been off to a solid start, but that's all I can really say. It's 6 chapters in, and we've got a feel for the main character's newfound passion, and the author's doing a great job with the artwork, but we really need to see an arc or, a match, so we can gauge what this series can be. It does seem like Jump is really looking for a sports series this year, with every single batch having a new sports manga in it. So I can see one of them sticking around, maybe 2 on Ice or Green Green Greens, but I wouldn't be too surprised if both axed, and Kill Boot has some sports in it, so that one gets to survive, and eventually, hopefully, we see our next actual sports series in the magazine. I love newbies, especially first finding out about them. The mangaka, the genre, their titles, and seeing the preview images. It's just my favorite part about reading manga, pretty much. I get the same sort of hype you get when you get like a brand new game that you're really interested in being announced. I really want to see some unique stuff from Jump, like The Promised Neverland and Dr. Stone, and read that from chapter 1. That would be an awesome experience, especially to read on the weekly. In the time that I've been reading Jump, which is going on 5 years this year, 2023 has, in my opinion, been by far the weakest year. None of the new series have really grabbed me like prior years. There's ones I like, but none I love. It's like in the span of this year, the Jump I've come to know and love is dying, and maybe it is. With Jump Plus slowly getting more and more hits in its larger and more diverse catalog of series, physical media dying, which can be seen in the yearly manga sales, as well as stores in America and just the West in general no longer carrying physical media. Perhaps Jump pages are starting to feel less unique because mangaka aren't going to Jump anymore. But the only way to find out for sure is to keep supporting it and checking out the newbies in hopes of something unique. In 2024, I'm hoping we get some veterans, like maybe Kento Matsura comes back, and for genres, I want to see a mystery series, I want to see a space sci-fi series, and a gag series. Please tell me what you would like to hear in the comments below or on Twitter, and yeah, that's it. So could 2023 have been a fluke, or is this the first sign of a Ragnarok? Thanks for watching.